Selectmen meeting. It is being audio and video recorded and will be shown on local access television. If you'd please stand and join us in the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, the first item on the agenda is the common vic license for the Bridge Coffee House at 239 West Center Street. Is the applicant? How are you guys? So you guys submitted both for a common vic and an entertainment. I'm not sure if you're aware, but we accidentally forgot to post the entertainment portion on the agenda. We'll approve that at the next meeting. So tonight we can only approve the common vic license because that's what's on the agenda. But you don't have to come in next time. If there's any questions from the board members on the entertainment, we can just go over those now. So if you just want to, I guess, tell us a little bit of what you want to do. I know there was a coffee shop in there before, but just a quick synopsis.
Yeah, sure. So Bridge Coffee House, we opened in 2019. We have the same mission, same agenda as before COVID. Bridge the culture to the community and meet with people and just be a great spot for the community to come hang out, get good coffee, and so that's kind of what we're hoping to do. We'll do some like trivia nights. This is Allie; she's gonna be our manager.
We'll do trivia nights. We'll do possibly open mic nights, game nights, stuff like that. That's what we want for the entertainment, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
No, I think it's a great return to the community. I like going in there nice and quiet after I drop off the kids, and it's good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Any questions?
So is there a motion to approve the common vic?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, you guys are all set. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And next on the agenda is Katie's Burger, located at 3 South Main. Is that, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Same thing, if you would just want to go over it very quickly.
Yeah, what we are is Katie's Burger, but we've been in business for like 10 years. We started in Plymouth, we were in Marshall, Hyannis. Those are full-service restaurants, liquor and the whole works. We just started one in Plimpton a year ago, which is kind of like it's like a Five Guys style, but just order and take out type of. So we're doing one here in Bridgewater, and it's essentially like a Five Guys, but it's we've been voted the best burger in Massachusetts for like the last 5-6 years. It's really cooking high-end quality stuff. It's quick. With the economy's going with a lot of delivery, third-party delivery, Uber, so it's that type of thing. So it's no dine-in, just quick and simple, and hope to see everybody there. Over at the old Hoka building, they bought the Hoka building right in 106, 104. They bought that building. Someone bought that building, and off to the right there was like a little area that had like a little restaurant in there for the hookah bar. So they divided that up, and we're taking that and we're just cleaning it up. I mean, if anybody's been to Plimpton, it's like high-end. It's really nice what we do. So we're gonna be in there, and we're gonna do some work to it. And we're starting to work. We're hoping October, November, but it's essentially what it is. So if you want to see what it's like, go to Plimpton. It's really take a look at it. Yeah.
Are they hand-cut fries?
No, something. The only one is Five Guy. But everything, we pack our own burgers. We make our own burgers.
Yeah.
Let's say pack them. We buy it raw and then pack it ourselves every day. This is.
Tell me about the fries.
I can tell you something else. This is Plimpton, but it'll be the same as you guys. Fries, any place you go. What's the nicest place in Bridgewater? They're frozen fries. It's a whole economy bill for McCain or the McCain fries, but the high-end fries. Five Guys is probably the only one that does the hand cut.
Okay.
And the only one. You go anywhere and fry because it's usually higher end. And we use a higher, oil, but we use a high-end oil. You can tell it with the oil, like you bite something that sticks on the roof of your mouth and all that.
I'm not going to say no because of your fries. So. Really?
Oh, we have tater tots too.
I saw that. The prices seem very reasonable too.
Yeah, well, maybe not for long, but yeah. Everything goes up, it's just prices
Do you have any intention on a liquor license in the future?
No.
No?
The full restaurants are a liquor license. It's like, you know, you go enjoy yourself. And then Clinton, we started with a beer and wine. We've only been there for a year, but I'm stopping that. It's just, I'm not gonna do it all. We'd have shakes, a milkshake and a shake.
Okay.
Shake and a burger.
All right.
So this is going to mostly takeout, right? Are you going?
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's no dining. We'll have like a little table on the side, like a counter, 4 or 5 seats. I mean,
Right.
someone wants to eat there, we're not gonna stop and they can eat there, but it's all takeout, all paper product, no silverware, no dinnerware, no glass, none of that stuff, so, just
all
real quick,
paper.
yeah.
Okay.
So, when you try it, you're gonna like it.
I'll let you know.
Sure you will.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the common vic license for KKD's at 3 South Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Hey, we're gonna be putting up a banner pretty soon with hiring, so if anybody got kids or anybody wants to work, it's tough out there to get people.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Everybody,
it.
you know, so just, you'll see the sign, and you can apply online on KK's website, so,
Okay.
Awesome.
well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ben?
Thank you.
It's okay if I just stand here?
Absolutely.
So this is just to bring to attention the board that starting at our next Board of Selectmen meeting on the 21st, West Bridgewater Community Access Media will stream the meetings live on our website, wbkm.org. Currently we are airing them live on our channel right now. But if you guys have any other questions, I don't think this is a voting issue, David, no?
Yes.
This is just to bring attention to the board. You know, with our new setup, it gives us the opportunity to just another go live.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
If you guys have any questions.
Not on this, but on, I guess, taping in general. How many boards do you know out of all of them you videotape, or how many you
Board of
don't?
Selectmen, School Committee, Conservation, Water Commissioners, Board of Assessors, Planning Board public hearings, and soon the new recreational space meetings.
Yep.
And
FinCom.
Finance Committee as well. So about 8.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I think in the future, this board should, maybe at the next meeting, put on the agenda to vote to approve the recording of all the meetings that we appoint, if you
Mhm.
so choose or have the capability.
Yeah.
So we appoint a decent amount of boards, and I think that we should make sure that all are approved to be recorded. I think it's really our decision rather than the appointed board. But I guess we can discuss that at the next meeting.
I don't think you said water department. Are you
I believe-
still?
yeah,
Oh, you
still-
did, okay.
Still covering water.
Okay.
And if I have a moment just to bring up, I have talked to David, but we are looking to replace the projector screen with a TV monitor, like this one, only much bigger. So that should be something that I'll discuss with the board later, because I do have some options for whether or not the board wants to have a touchscreen monitor, or if they just want to stick with a standard smart TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Next, we have the ratification of Jonathan Delmont to the fire department. Do you want to introduce us, Chief?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. This is Jonathan Delmonte.
Hello.
He is our top candidate from our full-time firefighter search committee. He had outstanding marks from his interview process. He's interviewed twice. And I happily suggest that you ratify his employment here at the town of West Bridgewater. I feel like he'd be an outstanding addition to the fire department.
Thank you, Chief.
Excellent.
Any questions from the board?
No, no questions. I hope, I mean, in the nicest way, I hope we don't meet again.
Nothing
Denise?
from me, you're safe.
All right. So is there a motion to approve the ratification?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and
Congrats.
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have the ratification of Melanie Terrell. So Melanie has served as the Assistant Director and I believe Interim Director for a little bit now. Are there any questions for Melanie? I know Linda has had the opportunity to review the employment agreement and is good with it. Are there any questions?
No, this sounds exciting. I'm glad everyone was able to work together and move forward, and it's all good things.
This was the first time that we used the new hiring policy.
Fantastic.
And everything was followed to the letter. And we now have it set up so that all of the resumes and applications go to Linda and then distributed, so that that issue is no longer. And Melanie was the #1 candidate from all 3 people that served on the search committee. Myself, Linda, and Ellen Snownimus,
Yep.
the former director.
Awesome, thank
Oh,
you.
that's terrific. Congratulations.
We're
I'm
very happy to
really
have her
happy
on board.
that everybody's working together. That's good news. We all get further working together.
Yeah, exactly.
Congratulations.
And now we have to find a new assistant director.
Right, whole different problem.
Exactly.
All right, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to ratify, which one is it? Ratify Melanie Terrell's employment as library director.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you all for coming in. All right. First we have the resignation of Tim Haye from the Conservation Commission. Is there a motion to accept that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and next we have the appointment of Tim Haye as the conservation agent. David, I know you were part of the process, or I'm assuming both of you were, just on your search and all that.
Yep, so we named a screening committee. So Linda, do you want to talk
Yep, I
about
was
it?
gonna say, we named a screening committee, made up myself, the chairperson of the conservation, along with John Delano. And out of the candidates that we interviewed, we felt that Mr. Haye was the qualified candidate for this position. He's actually served on the Conservation Commission since 2006. So he has a lot of background, and I think he would be an asset to the department. And I'm just looking for a ratification.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I was so happy to hear this. Congratulations.
Any questions, comments? No? All right. Did you want to say anything? Good.
No, I'm just happy to serve. I mean, it's kind of a passion, so
Yep.
it seems to be a good fit.
I did talk to David a little bit about your background, your job and all that, and I think you bring a lot of good talents to the position.
Thank you.
All right, so is there a motion?
And please
And-
make it second.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I would like to make a motion to ratify the appointment of Tim Haye as conservation agent, subject to the contract negotiations. Is that right?
Yeah, in executive session.
In executive session. So close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Congratulations. I feel like everybody else is getting a round of applause.
Next, we have the appointment of William Lucini Jr. to the ZBA as the second alternate. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have the resignation of Wendy Adams as the outreach and shine counselor.
All right, I'd make a motion to accept the resignation with a letter of thanks.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have a job posting to approve for the part-time local inspector. This is the new position.
Yep, so this is part of the checks and balances of the new hiring process that you just approved. What we do is we're going to do a salary survey. We'll put together what the job description is, and then we'll ask you to review it and approve it. So that way, if we come to you with a candidate at a later date that meets these qualifications in that pay range, then the expectation is that you will have you'll ratify that person. So you're looking, this is a standard job description. The salary of $26 to $27.99, depending on qualifications for 19 hours, is based on a salary survey that Linda did. This will be a difficult position to fill, but that is based on the salary survey of what her and Mike actually did, because we funded this at this past town meeting inside his budget. So I would ask you to approve as presented. We will post and then hopefully bring you a good candidate in the future.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have meeting minutes for review for July 13th and August 3rd.
So we're going to accept the meeting minutes for review. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And approve the meeting minutes of April 6th and June 1st.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we have approved small business street sign application, the Angels Garden, 561 Walnut Street.
So this is a policy of the Board of Selectmen dated, as you can see, from 2014. We allow any of our businesses in town that would like to put up a small street sign specific to their business. They fill out an application, they pay a one-time fee of $250. It must be approved by the Board of Selectmen, and the DPW department will install it. I think we have, if the next one, so you can see on Manley, on the corner of Manley Street and Walnut Street, there's part of the application to let the board know as to where they would be looking to place the sign. If you take a right-hand turn down Walnut Street and you drive down probably about 3/4 of a mile, you'll run into them on the right-hand side. So they're following the policy. It's just your decision as to whether or not you'd like to approve it or not.
Okay.
I will say, to their credit, not that this should have anything to do with this application, this is the place that also, for the 200th anniversary, donated all the work in front of the town hall. And they did the shrubs and the mulch and they did all that work to make the place look really nice in preparation for that event.
Oh, that's really nice of them. Very generous. And it looked great.
We did.
Great. Is there a motion to approve this sign?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And site plan review for 35 United Drive. This is in the industrial park. They're just looking to add parking.
Yeah, I mean, we placed this on because it's part of the bylaw, but to be honest with you, it's just parking. It's not a building. It does require site plan review for parking, as it would for any, that's state law, and then it's also going to require stormwater review through the Conservation Commission per our wetland bylaw, but stormwater bylaw. But other than that, all they're doing is they're just adding parking to an existing building in the industrial area to serve an industrial building. I don't see any negatives to it.
And do you need a vote?
No, this is usually where you would place comments like, we worry about noise or have trees or fencing, but it's a parking lot, there's already trees there. That's usually, like usually you'd say, well, you would talk about hours, but this is just a parking lot, so no operation for it. That's already been predetermined for the buildings.
And at least part of it was already a gravel parking lot,
Exactly.
so.
So if there are no comments, you would just say that the board has no comments. You can take a vote on that. We have a form. Christine does a nice job. She'll send over to the planning board and just say, the board either has these comments or has no comments.
Or a recommendation or a
Exactly.
not recommendation.
With it just being parking, I don't have any comments.
I do not.
Because of the location and what it is, I don't have any comments either.
Okay, so is there a motion to send it without comment?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Site plan review for One Component Park. David, we've sent feedback on this one before. Are
Correct.
they
So-
asking for something different?
So
Have they
this here was
changed it?
this here was just placed on the agenda as an FYI to the board. This is not a site plan review. You've already done comments. As part of any negotiation between a planning board or ZBA and the proponent, is that they will always say, please upgrade this, change this, add that, edit this. So this here is really a response back to the planning board to the changes that they're looking to make. A lot of it is incorporating some of what you guys discussed about having vegetation and that type of stuff. So this was just an FYI. It doesn't require a vote and no additional comments.
Okay. Any?
Nope, no
Thing on that?
comments.
All right.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment, because I've heard from one of the neighbors over there that they seem to be expanding as far as use is concerned. Seems to be more activity, more traffic. Just hope the planning board is on top of it. That's all.
All right. So nothing official to send to the planning board?
No.
I mean, it's not, it's sort of out of what we normally do at this stage.
Right,
We made our comments.
correct. All right. 586 Manley Street?
So this is site plan review. This is a $210,000 square foot warehouse project. Most likely is going to do, again, I'll just throw out some names, doesn't mean it's gonna be them, but like an Amazon type place, what's gonna be a storage of material. It's in the industrial area, it's on Manley Street. It's the old Spadia property of about 19 acres on the left-hand side going down Manley as you're approaching Brockton. It's in the right place. Again, the planning board will have to do its review. But this is where we want our industrial buildings.
All right. Any comments to send on this one?
Now, this is when we would mention, make sure there's proper vegetation, lighting, et cetera. Those are standard comments that I would want to make anyway. I don't have anything particular to add.
Denise, anything else?
No, it's in the industrial area, so, I don't think there's any residents bordering it, correct?
Probably just them, right?
I think so.
Or, well, they might have sold it, but they were probably the
Is there-
abutters.
yeah.
I don't believe so. I want to say, because it's a commercial property directly across, but I can't say that kitty corner, there may not be. There is some mixed use on that road.
Yeah, I know at least part of the family did live across the street at one point. I don't know if they still do. But, and they had a house up front. I don't know if that's still there. So did you want to send those comments along?
To use proper vegetation, be conscientious of the neighbors.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And site plan review for 255 Pleasant Street. This is for the zoning board.
Yeah, so this here is, I'm just going to scroll over. This is their request. They currently have a sign on the right-hand side. And on the left-hand side, all they want to do is they want to add that little digital board sign below it. That's their request. So
We
both-
voted on this already. Or we gave
I-
feedback on this already.
I thought that we had as well, but they just filed it, so I don't know if maybe there was a delay, maybe there was a change. I thought we had as well, but in any event, this is their request, that they're looking to add a digital board sign. It does require approval, or site plan approval through the zoning board of appeals. The standard items that you do discuss, like lighting and vegetation, I don't think would apply here, because that would actually defeat the purpose of a sign. So I'm not sure that we would have any comments on it, but again, just following the site plan review bylaw.
We have a digital sign bylaw too, don't we? So they would have to adhere to that anyway.
That is correct.
All right, so I don't have any comments. I'm okay with making the motion to approve site plan review.
Second.
Did you?
Well, I was just gonna say, the comments really are that you have no comments.
Oh,
Because the zoning board of appeals is the one that will do
Yep.
the special permit.
Comments.
Your role in this is just if you have comments that you want them to take under advisement as they review for that permit. So in this case here, there's no comments, you just take a vote that there's no comments to send.
I have no comments, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And 252 Pleasant Street.
So 252 Pleasant Street, again, I think that this has more been placed as a FYI to the board. This here, you did make comments a handful of years ago as you're going down Pleasant Street. It's actually directly across from Warwick Fasteners. They've already received approval to build a building. What they have realized now is that as they go to start to build the building or begin the process to do it, they realize that they actually want to rotate the building at a different angle. And instead of having one entranceway, they want to have two entranceways. That is, by strict requirement of the ZBA, a modification to their special permit, so they just had to refile. When they refiled, they came into our office. My personal opinion is you've already sent comments, you wanted a fence, you wanted the lighting, you want vegetation, nothing would change. All they're literally doing is rotating the building. And so there's no material impact on what it was that you were looking at for comments. So with your permission, we would just reiterate the original comments, which again was vegetation, courteous to neighbors, because there is a neighbor that is there, and also fencing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and next on the agenda, we have vote to name the Council on Aging dining room after Bruce Holmquist. Bruce, as we all know, was a longtime board member and president of the Council on Aging Board. So is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, anyone have anything for public comment period? All right, Town Administrator's report.
So real quickly, I just wanted to give credit to the fire chief on this past year. We went to town meeting. We secured $11,724 as a warrant article with the anticipation, hope of receiving a grant from the federal government requiring a 5% match, and we received it. So you can see we're going to receive in a total of $197,000. He is going to use that to purchase 2 items. One is for self-contained breathing apparatus, basically the breathing pack that you see on their back with it goes over their mouth, and the second thing is to be able to add a power load stretcher for the ambulance so they no longer have to lift people. But again, very good job to the fire chief for being able to secure that grant.
I'd like to recommend we send a letter from the board to the chief in recognition. This is a sizable grant. And for an $11,000 investment from the town, the return's $197,000. That's huge. So.
Absolutely. Is there a motion?
So I'd like to make a motion to send a letter to our chief of the fire department, commending him on filing for this grant and extending our appreciation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yep, will do, and it's, again, he did a great job, that's why I placed it on the agenda. If we would shell out $11,000 for $200,000 every day, right? Second one is frustrating, to be honest with you. We received a open meeting law complaint. Person lives in Swansea, and his complaint is basically focused on 3 different items. First item is that he states that we did not, the newest interpretation from the Attorney General's office in reference to the open meeting law minutes approval process is to do it within 30 days or 3 meetings, whichever is greater. We always, as a matter of policy and practice, is that when we have a meeting this night, next meeting you will accept for review, the following you will approve, so we do it within 2 meetings. Without having to get into a lot of detail about this, is that the only minutes that did not follow that process were the ones from the late winter, early spring, because a lady that was here at the time was ready to go on maternity leave and then went on maternity leave. And I think any person that's ever been pregnant or 8 to 9 months pregnant knows that sometimes things just don't always get done on a timely basis. I'm not going to say more. So with that said, we accepted them on August 3rd. Christine did an excellent job. She came in, she was new, and she spent a couple of weeks going through the video, doing everything that she had to do, and we did it as quickly as we possibly could. So it is what it is on that one there. Wish it didn't go the way it did, but it did. There's a legitimate reason, and it's not something that we normally have for an issue or a problem. His second thing is that he believes that a public body should not accept for review and then approve on a different meeting. Sorry, he doesn't get to dictate policy. All we have to do is we're subservient to state law, and we have to do it within 3 meetings. I think it's actually more transparent to the public when we accept for review, because we actually are taking our draft minutes and we're allowing the public to see them and then approve them at a later time. And so as long as that is done within that 3 meeting and 30-day rule, we're good. So there's no reason that we have to change that process. We'll continue doing it. His third item is that he said in the minutes is that it does not actually mention the location of where the meeting is held. Again, I disagree with his thought process on this. It currently says on your minutes, it says that it's held at the town hall at the Eldon F. Marrera Selectmen Board of Selectmen meeting room. That's pretty specific. We all know where this is. However, he is requesting that we list the physical address 65 North Main Street. Although I think that I could challenge this with the Attorney General's office and probably win, their guidebook, for example, only states that we have to list place. It does not mention address. The reality is that I've already asked Christine to add the physical address on minutes going forward. The ones that you reviewed and accepted tonight now reflect that. It's an easy cut and paste. There's no time and energy involved. I see no negative in doing it going forward, so we'll do that moving forward. The last one is FY end of year budget transfers. Your agenda stated vote on FY '22 end of year budget transfers and did not list the budgets that it was going to come from or go towards. Quite frankly, again, I think that this is something that I could challenge with the Attorney General's office, because remember, we have to post a minimum of 48 hours in advance. We know we have budget transfers to do, but we don't always have those budgets ready 48 hours in advance. And I can definitively tell you that I'm meeting with the town accountant the day of the meeting, sometimes determining where we're going to transfer them from. So I can't post it 48 hours in advance, just don't have the information. However, because again, I just don't see the benefit in having to argue, spend more time and energy on this, is that I will place that on the next agenda, and I will actually list the budgets that are transferred from and the budgets towards, and that way that will cure the issue, because as long as we do something that he requests within 30 days, the violation or the complaint cannot go forward. So I will do that in the next year when we do our end of year budget transfers. If I have the information, I'm going to place it. Again, no harm, no foul. I don't mind doing it. It's just that we don't always have the information. So if that is all acceptable to the board, then under the guidelines from the Attorney General's office, we have to send him a notice informing him what the board agrees with and is willing to do, or that we disagree and not willing to do. And if he challenges us, then he would appeal to the Attorney General. Since I think in this case here, we are going to accept his recommendations moving forward. There will be no appeal. I do have to write the letter, and under the most recent interpretation of the Attorney General, the board has to take a vote to either do it themselves or delegate someone to do it. In the past, as you know, it's always been me. So as long as you're acceptable to what it is that I would be willing to write or expecting to write, then I would ask for a vote of the Board of Selectmen to delegate that authority to me, and on behalf of the board, I will write that letter.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next is fantastic news, that, this lady, Priscilla Fiore, was very close with the town, loved our concert series, recently passed away, had no immediate family, including siblings and or children, and therefore left the town a sizable donation in the amount of $257,000, specifically to go towards these 4 accounts. The donation we were made aware of was about a year ago, and it's taken that amount of time for it to go through, follow the process with the estate, be filed with the court, and also clear the bank. So that has all been done. So at this point, there's nothing, we don't have to vote to really accept it unless you want to. But what I really thought that would be wise is that she had a best friend. I think it's on the next page. No? All right, she had a best friend that helped her with this. And as a result, I would like to be able to send her a letter just saying thank you for your friend's donation. I thought I guess I didn't. So I'll put that letter together, but if it's okay with the board, I'd like to be able to do that. I mean, the sizable donation, somebody should receive some credit for it.
Absolutely.
So moved.
And then, do you want a motion? Sorry.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
I didn't know if we needed one. Sorry.
Your choice. But if there's a consensus, it's okay for me to
Yeah.
do it, I'll just do it.
I think we're good.
Go ahead and do it.
Next is really just an update really for 2 items. Lincoln Street Warehouse Project. We have been spending multiple years working on this. It is getting closer to moving to the next step. At this point, the Water Department has approved the water line layout. And so in the next 60 days, I expect that people will start to see construction on Route 106 and Lincoln Street, adding the water line. And then he may also be pulling the building permit from our building department In full disclosure, the building permit is just shy of $200,000. So he would be giving us a check, pulling the building permit, and then start bringing material onto the site. I do not expect the building to be built in the fall. That could obviously change, but my understanding is that he would be looking to bring materials there and most likely start working on the building in the road in the spring. Again, subject to change with weather, but just an update so you know where we are with that. The Huso Athletic Complex, Anthony is on that committee and chairs it. We have been meeting all summer. We have been looking at multiple iterations of the project and making sure that we were looking at basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts, in addition to the athletic complex. Next week, we'll be meeting on the 14th in this room. So again, if anybody wants to be here, they're more than welcome to do so. And we should start looking at cost estimates at that meeting as well. I really have no idea as to what we're looking at because unfortunately in today's environment, everything obviously is more expensive than it had been just 6 or 9, 10 months ago. But we'll start to get pricing information, and as we can begin to continue to fine tune it, we'll bring it back before the board at some future date, and be requesting at that time for this board to call a special town meeting sometime probably late October, early November.
Thanks, David. I know you said it would be in this room, but could we actually move it to downstairs? I think that room's easier with the size of that committee, and if people come to the McDonald Brown room, if it's available.
If it's available, sure. Yep, will do. And the last is the 200th anniversary. That was a great day. I think West Bridgewater just looked fantastic, and there was a couple of things I want to make mention. One, I want to say thank you. I know I said it in my speech that day, but the fire chief really did a lot of work. We had to meet with the state inspector, the fire marshal twice. I reached out to him. I was involved in the meetings, but met with the fire marshal, met with multiple vendors, secured multiple quotes. We had to play around as to where it was going to go. The fire department went out there and watered everything down beforehand. We met with the pastor at St. Anne's, but he really did a nice job in putting everything together, making sure the place was going to be safe, and getting the fire marshal involved. So he did a really nice job, and without him, it wouldn't have been as good as it was. The DPW department, again, they were extremely helpful, got here early, moved vehicles, blocked off the entranceway, took care of the trash. They did a fantastic job. The police chief hit a home run on his first swing, so I'm sure he would be happy that I mentioned that. But again, kudos to both the fire chief and the police chief, that they had 95% of their departments involved, and really just, it was just a fantastic day to see all the camaraderie that was occurring, in addition to Mark Bodwell with the school department and with the full YAA. I also want to say thank you to Jerry Lawrence, chair of the 200th, because again, if it wasn't for him, we would not have been able to get some of the vendors there. They donated, what was it, $700? The Lions donated as part of that. And so again, they just did a really nice job of helping out behind the scenes, getting the vendors there. Jerry was here early, multiple days, marking everything out, making sure everybody knew where they were going to go. And also the same thing with some of our private companies like Noonan. You know, they gave us a substantial discount on the porta potties and bought them the day of. Again, I just want to make sure everybody received that credit. And the last person that I really want to say thank you to was the board. This board showed, I think, great leadership in going to town meeting and placing an article for $20,000 at town meeting, so we had the funds available so we could have a really good event. And nobody really wants to just spend 20 grand. And I don't want to say 20 grand is not a lot of money, because for some people it is. But I can tell you there are other towns out there that are spending hundreds of thousands, and in one town in the South Shore in particular, they were going to spend millions. And we didn't do that. And we had a fantastic day for fairly minimal expense, with hundreds and hundreds of our West Bridgewater residents here enjoying the show. So I want to say thank you to the board as a whole, because I think you showed great leadership on this to make it happen. And then also a special thank you to Denise, because it was Denise's idea to do the softball games. And We sat there, she was like, let's make a whole field day out of it. I want to be honest, I thought we were just going to drink and watch fireworks. That's what I thought we were going to do, and I thought everybody would be happy with that. But there was a whole nother element that was brought to the table by having the softball games and having multiple departments there. And so again, thank you, because I think that was a really nice addition to the day. So
I think the whole day just captured the community,
It
the
did.
spirit of the community.
And the fire department did a good job with their softball game. I'll say it publicly.
Yeah.
Not happy about it, but they all did great.
Yeah, everything was really great, and thank you for everything you did, David. And we know you were heavily involved in it, and it
well,
was
thank
a lot
you.
of work.
It was a lot of work. We had a lot of meetings, and truthfully, this was above and beyond, right? So if you're investing the time doing this, there are other things that are not getting done. So we had to make up for that time, but and spent the entire day here Saturday. Drove down from Maine at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to be off that weekend, but I was glad I was here. It was just a fantastic, at the end of the day, it was, and I mean like at the end of the day, not just as a term of saying, you reflected back on as to how happy everybody was.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we're all here to do. We all, as elected leaders or appointed officials, our real primary focus is servicing the public. And I think that was a really nice day that we were able to prove that. And so with that said, one item that I had discussed with at least one of you, if not multiple of you that night, is that we had talked about maybe doing a time capsule. So that way either 100 years or 200 years from now, that somebody could answer it and they could see what we did that day, what we did this year, and anything else. So if the board likes that idea, then I would like to place it on the next agenda, and we could start talking about where we would put it, and what we would put in it.
Sounds good.
I like that idea.
I do too.
Okay, so we'll put that on the next agenda.
Yeah, I don't think we could ever recreate that day.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it
worked
would
out
be a lot of
perfect.
resources, but it would be nice if we could do something each year as a special town event. David's sitting there saying, more work, more work.
I mean, truthfully,
I mean, people loved it.
Yeah.
Everyone really loved it. And I don't think we could do everything we did again, but if we maybe had some special event every year as a community.
again, it's a matter of whatever the board wants to do, and knowing it is gonna cost some money, but if you wanna do the fireworks, quite frankly, now that we have a model, I mean, yes, I have to go back out to bid, that's okay, we'll do that. But, you know, we have a pretty good relationship with the fire marshal, thanks to our fire chief, we did everything right. I think we have a pretty good system, we could do fireworks. Then it's a matter, do you really wanna have the vendors there? And obviously, the more we do, the more work will be required. But if that's what the board would like to do next year, we can discuss it and place another warrant article to try to fund and go from there. The one thing I will say is, I think that fireworks display was excellent.
Yeah.
Right? And-
Phenomenal.
and
It was.
I had told all three of you behind the scenes, we really, I mean, I spent a lot of time of work, and the fire chief did as well, really negotiating to get that fireworks display. And unfortunately, not everybody could see the 200 that was lit up, but that was a nice little extra treat.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is that if I have the exact same display next year, somebody will say last year's was better. So I do think that there's going to be a little bit of a diminishing return on it.
Mhm.
But whatever the board wants to do, obviously we'll do.
Thank David.
Thank you.
So with that being everything, I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session, not to return to open session for purposes of conducting a strategy session for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the entire library staff, and a strategy session for negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically the conservation agent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second,
And a roll call vote.
Anderson, yes?
Raise, yes.
Kinahan, yes. We're now in executive session.